Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I am your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
And we get together every single day, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Help you guys in that journey to head back to the window. Good to be here. We got Bronco Devil in the house. We got 1777 memorabilia. All excited about the Avs in 6. Very good. Bronco Devil tweaking you just a little bit. Yeah, bringing up to saying Joey Gallo is the best player to ever put on a Yankees uniform. Scott, I don't believe you agree with that.
I think you'll remember my opening day play was Joey Gallo no hits at like plus 115. So I've been fully embracing the awful Gallo performance. I also have a play on Gallo under 93.5 RBIs this season.
How's that looking?
93.5. That was the number they gave you. It was minus 115, I believe, at BetMGM.
Does he have 40
Yeah,
yet?
I've been fading him the entire year.
Does he have 40 yet?
I don't believe so.
Probably in the mid-30s would be my guess. So, all right, very good. How'd your weekend go, bud?
Overall, went pretty well.
Excellent.
Ended up having a decent amount of baseball action. Had a couple of bad beats leading up to the weekend in team totals in particular, but I got back on track. Won my last two. We're going to mention one of them later on, but I had the Tigers yesterday. Team total of 4 against Keuchel. Thanks a lot. Scored 6 in the first 5.
Here's some money.
Welcome back, Keuchel.
Here's
Welcome back.
free money.
Yep, welcome back.
Big X in the house. What up, Big X? Nicholas Lee checking in. Nicholas, good to have you. Joaquin Jordan, what's up, Scott? What's up with you, Joaquin? Double J, good to see you. James Mounts here, man. We got everybody checking in. So yeah, it's good to be here. We want to remind everybody, if you would be so kind, take a minute, smash that like button, smash those subscribe buttons. Of course, 2 different channels to smash. The Winners and Whiners YouTube channel. It's where you're going to find great daily content from people like me and Scott, Mason Foles, a bunch of other cats, a bunch of new handicappers putting picks up there. Doing pretty well, too, Scott, so you can check that out. If you want to see us live in person, talk to you guys in real time, you know where to find us there, and that's the Max Wagers Network over at YouTube. You can check in there and find great content like not only me and Scott, but noon, Midday Money with Sean Higgs, 1 o'clock, Allie Burns giving you Morning Wood, me and Chris at 2, me and Scott at 3, Sean Miller with soccer at 4 o'clock, and 5 o'clock brings you the Earl Brothers, Nick and Tim, along with Detroit Lenny, giving you your game time decision. So, check out all the great content from the Max Wagers Network. Get subscribed over there as well. So, what else? Caesars still doing their thing. I don't know if we're going to be doing it in July, but I know through the end of June, we got Caesars, $1,500 first bet, absolutely risk-free. Make sure you take advantage of that. If you win, you win. If you lose, Caesars will make it good up to $1,500 on your first bet, first deposit with the Caesars mobile sports betting app. Got to use the code VIDEOWINNERS15, VIDEOWINNERS15. Of course, we will drop that in today's show description along with the links for your individual states. You must be in a state where Caesars exists. Some of this stuff I don't really have to say, but I do. And, of course, you must be 21 to play. Anything else I've forgotten, Scott?
Not really.
Okay.
Mostly just been betting on tennis this morning.
Okay. A little Wimbledon. I know this is a big week for you. Rye Cape says, what's good? Hopefully our picks will be good. You know, it wasn't good? The farm, Scott.
Alcantara, all people.
One of the farms we loved the most of all the Nerfies we've done and all the farm plays. That was one of the ones I liked the most and went down in flames top of the first.
Yep.
So much for that.
It was a hell of a run, though. What was that, 7 straight?
8 straight.
8 straight. Still a good run.
Yep.
We'll take that any day.
Finished the week with 4. Started the week with 4. So now it's back to your pick. So we'll see if you can get us hot again. Lex says we need to talk tennis sometimes. You ever thought about doing a tennis show?
I have a tennis show.
Huh?
I got a tennis podcast over the weekend.
Oh, nobody listens to that shit. No, I mean here where people
on
are watching.
Here, yeah, why not? I mean, once again, it's on Spotify, so I'll be repeating some points. But we had the first episode for Wimbledon, gave out some of my favorite plays there, along with some futures, and I broke those down. So far, very profitable. I've had 2 actual locks, so to speak, that took place already. Those 2 won, and I just hit a plus 380 underdog. So
nice.
Overall, a very solid first day of Wimbledon.
That is very solid indeed. So, yeah, good information on that. If you want to get premium picks from me, you can get those. I do have them available in the comment section, or in the show description. You can find the link there, along with my best play of the day. That's my absolute best play, and it is a kind of a guaranteed thing. So if you buy the play, it doesn't hit, get your money back. You can spend it on another play from me. You can spend it on play from Chris. Whatever you want to do, you can use it however you want. So check that out as well. Nicholas Lee says, what do you think of this D-Gen parlay for the 4th of July weekend in UFC? Oh, Scott?
I just want you to pronounce the first name. Just do the best you can.
Pluses?
What's the first part with the second part?
Duplessis?
Duplessis.
Okay. All right.
Close enough.
All right.
Close enough.
Duplessis, Hall, Miller, Gary O'Malley. Is O'Malley the kid with the crazy hair?
Yes.
I like him.
O'Malley's the cotton corn hair guy.
Yeah. Strickland, Holloway, and Adesanya. Actually, for UFC names, that wasn't a bad run right there. I
think you did pretty good.
Well, when I have shit like Miller and O'Malley,
yeah, I'm saying it helped out.
I can stumble through that.
Either way, just saying.
It really brings my percent. It brings my percentage. Oh fuck yeah! When we used to do UFC shows, that was like my favorite part of the show because we told you before. I do it cold, and then Scott would tell me how they're really pronounced. So yeah, you like that play? Anything stand out that you don't like out of that?
Well, to go through, I'm not going to spend that much time going through each fight because I haven't done all of my breakdowns for the actual card. Duplessis, I think, is going to be a close fight, but I do like him. I think he's a very good prospect. Besides that, Uriah Hall, he's plus 230. Hall's been one of the most underachieving prospects in the history of the UFC. I mean, he had the insane knockout in The Ultimate Fighter and never really turned into the guy that people thought he was going to be. So Hall, I wouldn't be surprised if he either won by some crazy knockout or got his ass kicked. There's going to be no middle ground. I'm assuming Hall's probably going to lose. Miller against Cerrone's interesting because that's, of course, a last-second fight that was organized between two veterans. Cerrone, to be honest, he's been terrible for years.
Is that Cowboy Cerrone?
Yeah, it's Cowboy Cerrone.
God, is that guy still alive?
He's still around. He hasn't been relevant in a while.
No.
And he had fights that were scheduled in the last month that both got canceled. So now he's against Miller. I think Miller's the better fighter, so I think Miller should win there. I am a fan of Gary. I think that he'll win. Very solid up-and-coming Irish prospect there. Besides that, O'Malley should win. Strickland should be a solid fight against Pereira. Pereira's the kickboxing legend. We'll see how that fight goes. I think that's a very close fight. So if I was scared of two, I would be scared of Hall and Strickland.
Okay.
And Holloway, once again, I think Volkanovski's going to win. But if you want to take an underdog, I don't mind taking the guy that basically got robbed in the second fight, which I think makes sense. So you got a couple of, once again, you gave out like a 7-pick parlay. There's going to be a couple of long shots in there or stuff that I disagree with that might end up working out. But if you're going to take some chances, I think there are worse plus money fighters to take than Holloway, who's been in two very competitive decisions against Volkanovski in the past. Or one very competitive decision. The first one was kind of lopsided.
Very good. Cape says Cerrone needs to retire. I really thought he had. So, Bronco says he'd rather go see Kenny Chesney. Not a UFC fan. That was from the last show. I have an opportunity to
It's a great UFC card. It should be a very, very good card.
I have an opportunity to go see Chesney this weekend for free, and I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. So we'll see.
I think Cannonier's got a shot against Adesanya.
Okay.
I think Adesanya's going to win, but I think Cannonier's going to make it interesting.
All right, very good. All right, my friend. Well, yeah, I think we've covered everything. So let's make sure that we get to it. Scott, you got any tennis plays? Anything you're on today that you want to talk about?
Well, the matches are basically over today. They're still in the middle of a couple of second sets, third sets, and yeah, my plays today already won. So for tomorrow, let me see what I have. I have Giron minus 1.5 games against Rune at about minus 110, minus 112. And I have Kukushkin Brooksby over 3.5 sets at minus 145.
Okay. There you go, Bill. A little tennis, little fuzzy ball for you there. Nicholas Lee said, I think that 5 max this one. I don't know what that means. You know what that means?
Max Holloway in 5.
Oh, okay.
Could be.
Okay. There you go.
I think it's going to a decision. Volkanovski, the thing is, he's a good wrestler. So I do think in the stand-up, Holloway can hold his own because of the volume. The issue is going to be takedown defense. And if Volkanovski can get to the ground, then worst case is he can sit on him and potentially steal some rounds just by maintaining top position.
Very good. Scott, you've been boning up on the Tour de France for tomorrow?
I've not. I figured that tennis was going to be my specialty when I get asked in the comment section, and we're going to let your wife take care of all the cycling.
All right. Quick reminder, my wife will be joining us tomorrow to break down the Tour de France, talk about the favorites. It's a weird field. You got one guy that's minus 135, which is just unheard of. It's like a NASCAR race having a minus driver at the top. It doesn't happen. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And she is a true expert on the Tour de France. I'm not kidding. I've pimped her hard. Well, you know what I mean. I have extolled the
I don't know. You're the one who used that phrase. That's between you and her.
100% on me. Absolutely correct.
Okay.
So she'll be with us tomorrow, right after we do our regular thing. She'll be stopping by about 3:20 or so. So make sure you check that out as she talks Tour de France and gives you some betting opportunities, some long shots and shit like that. So,
yeah.
All right, very good. Oh, F. Jeffrey Mayer loves the tour. There you go. Well, you are going to be in the right place tomorrow, buddy. So I think half the people are going to tune in to see if it's a rubber blow-up doll that I'm actually married to, and the other half actually like the tour. So it'll be interesting to see. So, Scott, let's find out what happened yesterday. Let's break it down. We'll take a look at the entire weekend, and we'll talk about the winners. We'll talk about the whiners. We'll talk about the people that took it in the shorts and the people that took it to the bank. You know who you are, man. Did you have a nice easy win, or did you have to pull out the Nokia and call the cops? All right, Scott. Well, let's fire it up into the major leagues. If you had the Astros on the run line, plus 1.5 against the Yankees, looking pretty good. Tie game, entering the bottom of the 10th. Just it's all right, Yankees. Just pick up the win. Just don't hit a walk-off 3. Oh shit. Aaron Judge, he's pretty good, Scott. He can hit the ball a little bit. 3-run homer.
It was a weird series where the Yankees got outplayed in about 96% of the series, but they still managed to split 2-2.
Yep. Aaron Judge walked it off. 3-run dinger. Sorry about your Astros plus 1.5. It is time to call the cops.
And for the second one, I'm actually going to pivot. On the sheet, I have one thing, but I'm going to have something else instead. I'm going to pick the Braves on the money line against the Dodgers. It was a late night game, but the Braves were winning by 2 runs entering the 9th inning. And then you ended up having Klay Thompson's brother hit a 2-run single to tie the game. Game went to extras, and the Braves ended up losing 5-3. But when you're up 2 runs going into the 9th inning, and it's the late game too, so you're sweating it out, and you end up losing, that's pretty rough.
What game was that, Scott? What day was that?
That was yesterday. That was the Sunday Night Baseball game, Braves-Dodgers.
I have a bad piece of news for you, buddy. Braves won that game.
No, they did not.
They absolutely did.
They lost 5-3.
They did not. They won 5-3. Dodgers.
I'm looking right at it. The Dodgers won 5-3.
It's wrong. I was watching the game live.
I'm on ESPN. They won the game.
No, they didn't, Scott. I'm on.
So ESPN's lying to me?
They're wrong. They did not win the game. And wait till the comment section lights up and tells you you're wrong. Because
it says right here the Dodgers won 5-3.
Well, I'm also looking at ESPN. It says Braves 5-3. So that is extremely weird. Because I was watching that game, I had the over.
No, time out. You have Braves 5-3. Does it say extra innings? Then you're in the day before. The Dodgers won 5-3. You're on the Freed game. That was Saturday.
Oh,
the comment section saying the Dodgers won.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was that's right. It was. I had the over 8.5.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. That was Saturday night where the Dodgers let me down with a guy in third, and it was last night that the Braves let me down with running on base.
So
yeah, you're right.
I originally had the Cardinals first 5.
Okay.
They were up 5-0, and they ended up blowing it 5-5. But it was a late game. I had to include it. You blew a multi-run lead in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
So if you had the Braves on the money line, you can rip it up.
It's not good. And if you had the White Sox on the run line, minus 1.5 against the Orioles, not a great weekend for the White Sox against the Orioles. They didn't manage to get it yesterday. They had 4-1 after 8. Finally, they're going to fucking do something. Baltimore got 2. What do we call them? Useless runs, needless runs, unnecessary runs because they didn't tie the game. All they did was beat the run line. Chicago wins that one 4-3. Tear up your Chicago run line. Shame on you for betting the fucking White Sox anyway.
On the bright side, La Russa might keep his job because they didn't get swept at home by the Orioles.
Jesus.
Yep.
All right.
Not good.
Well, there was some good news out there. Maybe you're in one of these spots, and there was a lot of games that qualified. A lot of blowouts over the weekend. We've picked 3, and we're going to reveal them right now. Let's find out who it was who had that nice, easy weekend, kicked back in the rocking chair.
So the first one, if you had the Reds on the money line at plus 150 against the Giants, they led 7-0 after 3 innings, and they won 10-3.
DeSclafani, not ideal, Scott.
Not good.
Not good. Good.
He was good for about, the first half of last year, and then he kind of fell off a cliff after that.
Could have put the over in this spot, too. That was easy over money as well. So, Padres Phillies over 7.5. They had 7 runs in the first 3 innings. That game landed 13. What was that? Is that Saturday? Was that yesterday?
All these were yesterday.
Okay. All right.
That was Darvish against... I forgot who was pitching.
You know what it is? I didn't watch shit yesterday. I watched the College World Series and I watched the Rays and I watched the end of the Dodgers game. So everything I'm thinking, I think it happened Saturday. So
now these are all from yesterday.
But very good.
If you had the Blue Jays Brewers over 9.5, total of 9.5 with Chi on the mound, what can possibly go wrong? You had 6 runs in the first inning and then 5 runs in the second inning. So that's 11 through 2. Game landed 13.
But it wasn't Chi, right? Didn't Chi get the win?
I don't think Chi pitched long enough. He gave up 3 in the first inning.
Well, but they
pitchers gave up 3 in the first.
But his team won.
Got absolutely shelled in the second inning.
Yeah, the Brewers cranked him. I mean, yeah, I know. No, Chi didn't get the win. I didn't. I mean, the team got the win.
Oh no, the Brewers did most of the heavy lifting offensively.
Yeah.
But on principle, with Chi pitching, you can't have a total of 9.5.
No, and that was what, like 11-3 that game ended up. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Or
it was 11-3 or 10-3. I think it was 10-3.
Okay, very good. All right, very solid. So, of course, maybe we can. Maybe we're waiting for tonight. Maybe you got some stuff for tonight for the rocking chair. So, Scott, a couple of candidates for this one, but this one definitely raised some eyebrows. Odds makers, sometimes the things just don't go your way, and we make fun of you and we say you're drunk, and it's there's really nothing you could have done. This one. There was something you could have done. This was absolutely ridiculous. Odds makers, I'm pretty sure you are absolutely blasted. So we talked about a nice, easy over with Chai Gonzalez on the mound. But, Scott, there was a game featured Dallas Keuchel and Bo Brisky. What would you think that total should be? 11.5, 12, 14?
Yeah, I was going to say, you'd assume probably 9.5, give or take.
8.5, Scott. Now, I know the Tigers don't score a lot of runs. I get that. Diamondbacks don't exactly have a mauling offense. But 8.5 with these two hackasauruses on the mound.
With Keuchel?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, come on.
He's been an over machine this season. He's been a fade machine. This game landed 18, Scott. Odds makers, it's Keuchel. It's Bo Brisky. Are you fucking drunk? What's the deal?
I couldn't understand it. It was kind of annoying for the play of the day because I was waiting for the odds makers to post a line on this game until like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
I gave up, and I woke up like a couple hours later at 10:30 or 11. I'm like, all right, it's time to make a video.
Yeah, I wanted to make a play on that. And like you said, that we just couldn't get a line. You're like, fucking, how hard is this, guys? And
I just waited it out.
And apparently, it was pretty hard.
Yeah, it was one of those games where I could have found something else to get it over with and get my play done. But I knew going in that was the game that I was going to bet, so I waited it out. And I figured since it was a 4:00 game, I could afford to upload it at like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So I did. Whatever, worked out.
All right, very good. Scott. College World Series didn't work out for us. We both had different interest in Arkansas. That did not come to pass. However,
I feel better about it because my team lost to the team that...
somebody said that. Somebody said, well, Scott Reichel will feel better. Like, well, good for him. Personally, I don't give a fuck.
Doesn't make a difference. My team made the semis. They're 25-1. They made the semis.
Once my team's dead, it's dead. So let's find out. Who could it be now, Scott? Let's find out. Usually it's an individual award, but we're going to expand that a little bit and find out the Monday edition of the Gambling Hero of the Weekend. All right, sir. Go ahead. Take this one.
So we're going to go back to the College World Series, and we're going to be looking at, well, the Ole Miss Rebels, because they entered the tournament with 60-1 odds. I believe they were one of the last 4 to the tournament.
Correct.
And they ran the table.
Mm-hmm.
They won the entire championship, and they ended up coming from behind yesterday against Oklahoma, and they swept the 2 out of 3. So props to Ole Miss. Also, honorable mention there to the Avalanche, who won the Stanley Cup last night, but the Avalanche were one of the preseason favorites. Ole Miss was 60-1, so we mentioned them first. I think that's fair.
Yeah, fair enough. What'd you think of the interference call in the College World Series?
Interference is such a difficult call to make. I've seen worse calls. I've seen better calls. Can I say that?
Sure.
What do you think?
You know, by the letter of the rule, I get it.
Technically, yeah. I mean,
what the part I don't understand why everybody has to go back to their original spots.
Yeah.
The interference didn't have anything to do with the guy going first to second or third to home.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand why they had to reset everybody, but that was, I was part of the rule. That doesn't seem to make any sense to me. I thought it was a royal fucking, and it completely turned the game around. As you've got, would have had a 1 run in, 2 guys on with still just 1 out, and
it would have changed some stuff. But at the end of the day, when you give up back-to-back wild pitches for runs down the stretch, you kind of deserve to lose the game.
That's the second time this week we saw back-to-back pitches.
The Reds did that like a week or 2 ago.
Come into play in the 9th.
In extras.
So,
but yeah.
All right, very good. And I go. Thoughts on the NHL? Final takeaway there. Kempfer was decent, but he didn't face a ton of shots. I think he only faced 28 shots, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he
23 shots. 23 shots.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
It was one of the most impressive defensive performances I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, because the Lightning had 2 shots in the entire third period, and 1 was from center ice.
Yeah.
So they allowed 1 offensive zone shot, the one-timer from Kucherov with like 3 minutes to go, in the entire third period of a road closeout Stanley Cup game.
Yeah.
Is that not one of the greatest defensive, at least stretches, you've ever seen in a sport?
Has to be.
1 shot on goal in the offensive zone? That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, when they needed it most, a team that was the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion.
Couldn't do anything.
Couldn't do anything. Absolutely stoned them. So congratulations to the Avs. That was fun. I feel like I had a little skin in that since we do the Denver show. So because I don't have affiliations with anybody besides really the Islanders, and the only reason they're there is because we had their minor league franchise for a few years. So
you could argue Colorado avenged the Islanders, but of course that was not this year. But
yeah,
at least there's a trophy going somewhere that's not Tampa.
That's right.
So.
Very good. Is this the start of the big run for Denver? Bronco says it's the Bronco said that it was going to be the first of a couple of titles this season for Denver teams. He did not allude to which other teams, however.
Are the Avalanche playing again this season?
That's what I asked. I said, "Are you talking about next year with the Avalanche?" Or
I'm trying to think of. I'm not trying to be a hater, but I'm trying to be realistic here.
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos, I think, are going to be a fun wild card team that could make a run, but we'll see. They have a brand new head coach. We'll see if he can actually hack it or not. See what I did there?
That's very good.
Pun intended. I thought that was pretty good.
Nice.
But Denver should be a playoff team.
New owner too, by the way.
I was going to say they're in the toughest division in football, though, so it's not going to be a fun time. Also, if Wilson can actually keep the hand healthy, but the Nuggets, I get it. They were all injured for this past year, but are you sold on Porter Jr. staying healthy for an entire season? Because nobody is.
No, And it's not like he's got, he had like knee surgery or something where it just gets better, or you fixed it, it's fixed, now it's fine.
No, he's had chronic back issues.
Chronic
and
back.
I don't think it's going to change anything.
Yeah, and a quick reminder to everybody: it cost him his career at Mizzou. He literally played
what, 2 games?
2 games. He played the first game of the season, last game of the season. That's all he played, and limited minutes at that.
The way I see it, of course, the Rockies we're not even going to talk about because they're terrible. But I think your best bet's the Broncos, and even best bet, I think they're a pretty solid. I don't even know, 10-7, 11-6 team.
Somebody brought up all 3 wild card teams coming out of the AFC West. You buying that?
No, because I think the Raiders are going to be terrible.
Okay, yeah, that was.
I think the Raiders have talent. Of course, they got Adams, they got Chandler Jones, underrated pickup there.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure McDaniels can coach?
No.
Because we tried this 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
The offensive line for the Raiders is still okay. I think it's a little overrated, to be honest, because Leatherwood was just awful last year. But do you like the defense? They admitted that Cleveland's a bust. They decided to not renew the contract or pick up the option for Abram.
Right.
I don't think that particularly, I don't think that the defensive secondary is any good for the Raiders. And I think that in that division with Mahomes, with Herbert, and with Wilson, I think the pass defense is going to get torched.
Raiders in the overs. Broncos said the Denver was 7-10 last year with no quarterback. Okay. So what are they going to be this year? 9-8?
I said 10-7. I think that's a fair grade.
I do too. Yeah, I do too.
So I think they'll make the playoffs, but the Raiders... People keep trying to tell me the Raiders are going to be like this dark horse team. I think last year was the dark horse run, and they really didn't look overly impressive down the stretch. They just managed to get by.
Yeah.
But in this division, I think the Raiders are easily the worst team.
Nick says the AFC West, they will kill each other. Said the division winner will be a 4 seed, and only 2 make the playoffs. That's a bold call right there.
It's a bold call. The second part I can understand. If you think the Chargers fail so many fourth down attempts, they miss the playoffs again. That's always a possibility there.
Mm-hmm.
I think 3 get in. I'm trying to think of other playoff teams, or at least teams that have a shot at it.
Yeah, we did this on the last show. You've got Miami out of the East.
I was going to say the Dolphins because the division sucks.
Right, and you've got Cincinnati and Baltimore out of the North.
Okay.
You got nobody out of the South.
Cincinnati's tricky because I'm sure those both teams are tricky because Lamar had the injury last year, and Burrow's had a bunch of knee issues. So right. I'm assuming they should make a run for it. But would it surprise me if Cincinnati? I don't want to say craters, but would it shock me if Baltimore wins the division and Cincinnati finds themselves 9-8, missing a playoff spot? I would not be surprised.
No, not a bit. And then in the South, you've got Tennessee and Indy. I'd be stunned.
I think one team makes that.
I was going to say I'd be stunned to see 2 teams make that. So Broncos said everybody with the Raiders makes it. I think that's more realistic.
That's where I stand. I think the Raiders will finish 6-11.
Yeah, I just don't see the Chiefs or whoever wins that division having. I get the theory behind it, Nick. I get the theory that if they kill each other, it takes away the easy wins that you're be getting from other divisions. But I just don't see the first place team
talented.
coming out of that division being worse than Baltimore or
the Colts.
The Colts, yeah.
I think the winner of that division probably gets a 2 or a 3.
Colts get the number 1 seed. This Nick is going
that sounds
rogue.
A little biased.
Going rogue here, buddy. That's since he wasn't that great during the season. No, they were not, Bronco. I agree. That was a frustrating team. That was a frustrating 2 games there. Both of them the fucking Chiefs should have won, but anyway.
Yeah. Of course, props to them. They managed to circle the wagon, so to speak.
They did their thing.
I question the injuries to the quarterback, and I question the potential flukiness of the run.
Yeah.
And what we've seen before, teams that make it in a surprise fashion to the Super Bowl
take a step back.
They usually don't get back there
Correct.
at all, or at least maybe within a year or 2. I could see a Falcon situation.
James Mounts, is that Cleveland? Tim says, Nick says he's a Giants fan, not biased. I think the Titans are overrated, and Jackson, Houston are 4 free wins. You're
talking about stacking up the actual division, but I think Matt Ryan's washed.
Yeah, I don't
think Matt Ryan's any good. So he used to be, not now.
We'll see. Colts good last year. O-line is very good. I agree with both those things. Colts defense was outstanding last season.
I think
O-line
the Titans missed the playoffs.
What's that?
I think the Titans missed the playoffs.
Yeah, that fucking horrible defense is finally going to catch up with them.
Earl, you can argue that Ryan's an upgrade over Wentz. I'm just saying, I think it's closer than people think.
Yeah,
I'm really low on Matt Ryan.
Fair enough. We're gonna find out. Of course, he didn't have much of an offensive line there either. So
no, but from what I've seen, Ryan just isn't the guy anymore.
Okay. All right. He says elite defense and O-line, best running back in the league. He said won't need Ryan to do much.
Just saying, with Reich's red zone play calling and Matt Ryan's red zone interceptions throughout his career, might get interesting in the red zone. That's all I'm saying.
Summer Sweats is the Bills' years this year.
They're my pick. But again, that's not a hot take. They're the favorite to win the whole thing.
Well, we'll we'll start breaking this down probably All-Star Week.
Yeah, we will. But the Bills, in my opinion, are the best team in the league.
You and I are going to do. Wimbledon will be over. So we'll talk a little football starting that week and some of the moves that they've made because you and I will be doing shows. I think we're going to do a show on the 4th, but I think it'll be pre-recorded, so it won't do it interactive style. So you guys definitely check that out between eating some barbecue and some fireworks.
And you guys know we'll end up doing division videos for the NFL.
Oh yeah,
we'll go through breakdowns.
Yeah, this won't be our official NFL videos. This will just kind of be, just sort of reviewing how they did with the draft, what needs that they address, new coaches, and things like that.
An overview.
Why? What? Yeah, more of a 20,000 foot view. Why Broncos going to be pissed off again and disappointed in the Broncos, things like that.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. We got a pretty limited card tonight. That's that's the reason for all the bullshit up front here. We've got we got 6 games, 4 or 5. 6.
Got a lot of baseball, but that's it.
Yeah, we got 9. Okay, so a little better than half of a full slate. Of course, we're going to have a Bet the Farm play later. What else you got? You got Blackburn going against Montgomery tonight, Scott.
I like the under.
A's can't score for Blackburn. Yeah, you kind of got to like the under there. Montgomery's been pretty damn good. They have identical ERAs, by the way. They're both of them at 2.97. Is there any value there taking Oakland at plus 220 or so?
I think you can argue that Oakland, if Blackburn pitches lights out, we saw the Yankees get no hit for about 16 innings over the weekend.
Right.
So it's possible. I do feel better about taking an alternative spread or one of the reverse run lines. If you want to go with Oakland plus 2.5, especially with the Yankees being at home, not having to bat in the 9th, and that's a very good deal. But I like the under. We know Oakland can hit. The Yankees offensively have started to revert back to home run or bust mentality. I'm looking at the under. I think 8.5 is too high.
Okay, very good. Bronco Dillis says, I know where you live. Indeed, he does. It's very true. He does. Ty wants to know any thoughts on the WNBA tonight. Scott, I know you're the kind of a WNBA sniper, and I know the Sparks are playing. What do you got? Anything cooked up? We're going to play the over there in the Vegas game.
Oh wait, so I actually did a WNBA podcast this morning, looking at the plays. I like the over in the Fever Mercury game.
Okay.
The Mercury got rid of Tina Charles, so they're playing a lot smaller, which means they've been playing faster. Indiana, most up-tempo team, worst defense in the league, so I see points there. I believe that total's at 169, and I think Vegas wins handily. Whether you want to take them minus the 7.5, even an alternative like minus 10.5. They've played twice this season. Vegas has won each meeting by at least 17 points.
Yeah, was it 24 and 17?
Yeah, I think Vegas wins pretty handily. So those are my 2 WNBA thoughts.
Okay, very good. Scott, under Dodgers and Colorado. 11.5.
Cole's been okay.
Yeah.
You can argue that the Dodgers might get off to a slow start because of the late game in Atlanta. We're going to talk about that game a little bit later, but I guess I would lean to the under because I just think Anderson's a solid pitcher.
Yep.
It really comes down to if you think Colorado does anything.
Okay.
Do you think so? Because Colorado recently has been not that great.
They're better at home, but no, I still think I think that one stays under the total as well.
And when you say better at home, for the record, they're 19 and 19.
Yeah, they're 500. They're 500 at home. Correct.
Yeah.
Last year they They were one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the majors in the home, and they were absolutely the doormat on the road.
And we have a celebrity in the
see
comment
that
section, by the way.
We joke around, say a big fan of the show, but apparently this guy actually is a big fan of the show.
Big fan. Bennington, by the way, nice aim on that water bottle throw at Kadri during the press conference. Respect. But, as a whole, Blues, once again, solid overall team. Made a lot of money in them against Minnesota in the first round.
They were good to us.
Bennington stays healthy. Maybe they could hang around with Colorado. I still think they would have lost the series. I'm trying to think of what St. Louis really needs. I just think they need another high-quality scorer. It's easier said than done, but I'm trying to think of all the weapons that they really have. Perron's kind of a hybrid guy. O'Reilly's a hybrid guy. Tarasenko's a sniper. Buchnevich is pretty good. I think you could use another guy who could get you 25, 30-plus goals in a season. I think you're just one piece short offensively.
Be handy. Bronco Devil says his nephew works for the Blues. Excellent. And James Mount says the Blues are his home team. So a St. Louis guy. So as when you meet anyone from St. Louis, you have to ask them just one question, Scott. Hey, James, where'd you go to high school? It's a St. Louis thing for saying. I'm going to guess one of the parkways. Parkway West, Parkway North, Parkway Central, something like that. I don't know. I could be wrong. Probably went to Ladue. Anything else on the card? I had a play earlier today. It was my play of the day. Loved this matchup. I was catching plus 160 and change on Boston up against Toronto. It was Waka against Gausman. And now this happened since I came on the air. It's Siebold instead of Waka. So
It still might be okay though, because Boston has won 7 straight.
I know.
So you're still getting the hotter team that's been playing well. But just to actually put into perspective, since people might not actually realize this, the Red Sox started the season. Let me just pull up the worst. I got to find the low point.
I know they're 19-4 over their last 23.
I was going to say they started the year 11-20.
Okay.
And now they're 42-31. That's pretty good.
All right.
So the Red Sox have been phenomenal over the last 2 months.
Goddamn, James, you got me, buddy. Of all the people I went to college with and all the people from St. Louis, I've never heard of that school. Congratulations, you stumped me.
I'm assuming it was a Catholic school.
It says it was a Catholic school, yeah.
No, I know. That's why I said it.
Very good. Siebold was a listed pitcher tonight. Not at 1 o'clock in the morning. He was not, Nick. It was Waka, and he's been bumped. So
what happened to Waka anyway?
He's going tomorrow night.
Oh, okay. Just pushed it down.
Yeah, because I double checked everything before I sent that, and I did that one about 12:30, 1 o'clock Central Time, and it was still Waka and Gausman. So I was pissed. That's what I tell you. No way you're catching 160, dude. I'm telling you, that's why I liked it. I know. I'm gonna get roasted, but
once again, I wasn't really checking. At no point that I knew going into tonight, or last night, I should say, I knew I was going to bet the Angels in some capacity. I was just going to fade Giolito entirely, and I got team total of 4.5 over at plus 110.
Okay.
Giolito's been awful.
Yeah.
And I know that people in the comment section of my video were talking about how it's plus money because the Angels' bottom half of the lineup is not very good. You're not wrong. The bottom half of the lineup sucks.
Yep.
But look at Giolito's numbers and tell me how it's plus money. With the wind blowing out, by the way.
Yeah, he's given up, like, I want to say, we talked about this on the last show. I can do it real quick here. Yeah, 27 over the last over his last 5 starts. So he's given up 5.4 runs per game.
He has an ERA of 13.5 in the last 2 starts.
Yeah, it's awful. It's awful.
So
dude.
4.5 at plus money, like that's an auto play in my book, just based on how the wind isn't even a factor. The wind's actually beneficial to you. So if you want to go for a prop there, I don't mind Trout to hit a home run, Ohtani to hit a home run. But Giolito's given up 4 home runs in his last 2 starts combined. And I'm assuming that Trout and Ohtani might get a couple of hangers at some point.
Caught a hanger, Sarge. Yeah, he's giving up dingers, man. He's given up 9 home runs in those 5 starts.
It's rough.
Nah, I'm with you here. I think that's a decent price. Twins. This is a revenge spot, says Bruce. Minnesota. You on the Twinkies tonight, bud?
No, it's a big series. You're looking at a spot where Minnesota's trying to extend its lead on the Guardians, but Cleveland's lost 4 in a row. Now, they did play the Red Sox for the last 3 at home. They lost each of them by multiple runs. I'm on Minnesota. I like McKenzie. These pitchers actually just faced off against each other, and both of them sucked.
Right.
You had I believe it was 12-11
11-10
game last week.
11-10, yeah.
Close enough. Whatever. But I'm going to go with Minnesota. I have a hard time fully going with Cleveland when they just got absolutely smacked at home over the weekend. I'll go with Minnesota at around -120.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. I just, ever since I've kind of turned people on to Tristan McKenzie and told you how much I liked him, he's been not horrible, but he was
awful last
he did have one horrible start, but he was like he gave up 5 against Baltimore, then he gave up against 6. So 2 of his last 5 starts he's given up 5 or more, but I still like the kid. I think he's good.
I'll tell you one other play I'm tempted by for a dog. I'm looking into Baltimore. I do acknowledge that Kirby's been good.
Mm-hmm.
Wells is okay. It's mostly just continuing to buy low on Baltimore. And I'll admit it, I was dead wrong during the preseason division breakdowns. I thought the Orioles would be pushing 100 losses.
Did you think
6 games under?
Did you think these 2 teams would be tied at almost the midway point?
I did not.
Yeah, they're both 34 and 40 on the season.
I'm looking at Baltimore, and they've won 4 of 5. They're actually a pretty decent, I'd say, offensive team. They've been better recently, but the bullpen's been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So do I want to lay 150 with Seattle? Not really. I think I'm tempted by Baltimore.
I don't hate the under there either, but like you said, Tyler Wells has been very good so far this season, Scott. He's given up 3 or less in all of his starts. And, yeah, he's given up 3 just 3 times. So he's been solid. He doesn't go extremely deep into these games. He's another guy that if you get 6 innings out of him, you should be happy. He's not terribly
It's a number game for me.
Yep. He walks a few too many. But, yeah, I think that's a solid matchup. I think that's a coin flip, and we always tell you.
I was going to say Seattle should be favored, but probably -130. I think 150 is a bit too much.
Yeah, I think we're dealing with perception here. I literally think this is a -110 coin flip type of game. I think this is tremendous value catching this at +130. So
I just think Kirby's better, so that's why I'm kind of tilting it a little bit to Seattle. So
what just happened says Nerfy screams Baltimore tonight. I don't hate that at all.
Well, Baltimore is the worst first inning offensive team in the league. So
what's that? Baltimore, yeah,
Baltimore scores the fewest runs in the first inning of any team.
You always have to look at Baltimore and Miami. Miami's because they kind of go back and forth. Miami's 29th right now. Baltimore's 30th. So
yeah.
Oh, he's good. Austin Hayes has been a good fantasy pickup. Yes, I believe that is true. Watch Akins and Lopez out of the pen. Over the next day, they burn them. Oh, that's a great tip, F. Jeffrey. Very good. All right. Scott, let's talk about the only thing we have left to talk about. You know what? Let's get to it. It is time once again. You guys got a little spoiled, and we got a little cocky. I'm not going to lie, Scott. We got just a little bit cocky, and you knew it was going to jump up and bite us eventually, and it did. But we're ready to start a new string. It is time once again, guys. It's Monday. Let's get those fresh overalls out of the dryer. Put them on. Put both straps on. We're not hillbillies. Get your straw hat on. Climb aboard your John Deere and fire that bad boy up because, kids, once again, it is time to bet the farm. You good?
Yeah.
You ready? Where am I? I always think I have it set up right. There it is. All right.
Ma'am.
Afternoon. All right, Scott. Well, we talked about it a little bit. Neither pitcher could get through unscathed on Friday. It happens. Put it in the rearview mirror, and we move on. So we do have another Bet the Farm play ready for today. What do you got fired up there, buddy?
So we're going to go to the Dodgers-Rockies game, and we're going to take the Dodgers -1.5 at around -130. Dodgers have won 5 of their last 6 games. They've been playing really good ball pretty much ever since Roberts called them out a couple of weeks ago. And the most important part, each of those 5 wins have been by at least 2 runs. So when the Dodgers win, they win by margin. The Rockies are not a good baseball team, and they're playing like it because they've lost 5 of their last 6. Anderson on the mound for the Dodgers. He's been amazing over the last month and for the entire season. Last 5 starts, 28 and 1/3 innings pitched, 2.54 ERA. And Chad Kuhl is pitching for Colorado. Overall, decent numbers this season, but his last 2 starts not great. 10 innings pitched, 5.4 ERA. We think the Dodgers offensively get it going at Coors. We think the Rockies offensively struggle against Anderson, as the Dodgers should win, in my opinion, by a couple runs.
There you go. So don't be afraid of that Dodgers run line. You want to get froggy, you can lay 2.5. What the hell? But you know what? We're not going to go crazy. We're going to take the Dodgers, lay a little juice there at -130, but we think it's worth it. Dodgers run line -1.5, -130, and that's going to do it for the farm. That's going to do it for the show. We appreciate everybody stopping by. As always, don't forget, we're available in podcast form. If you don't get a chance to check out the show on the video side, we're always available every day, usually about 10 minutes after the show's over. That'll be posted on the podcast platforms, wherever you get your normal podcast. That's where we'll be. So you guys have a great Monday. Once again, we'll be back tomorrow to talk Tour de France with the one and only Mrs. Steehn. So we'll have fun with that. You guys have a great night. Good luck on all of your plays. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you one more time tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Scott and I do our best to help you head back to the window. Take care, everybody.